Okay. Welcome to the 11th episode of Youthful Conversations. Today we are going to have an amazing conversation. Actually, it's going to be a little bit different. So usually we talk about topics that are like kind of focused on and motivating you, empowering you, and different things like that. But today I felt like we needed to do something where we're like giving you advice because I'm a high school senior this year. So we're going to go into we're transitioning into college, turning 18, going into adulthood a little bit. So I wanted some advice from some college students who have been through the college experience and who can help us out get some tips. So today's topic is college wisdom and advice from high school and advice for high school seniors. So I have an amazing board with me. We're going to go around the table, introduce ourselves, and then we're going to go right into our first questions. But before we do that, I want to give my thanks to GSO Peace Corps providing the building and the space to record this podcast, and then my production team for producing and managing my podcast. So now we'll go around the table, do introductions, and go right to our first question.
Okay, I'm Maya, and I attend Hopper University, getting my bachelor's in business entrepreneurship and a minor in civic responsibility, social innovation.
Yes. My name is Shanika Joyner, and I'm, yes, a former college student, but I'm also a teacher. And I have a master's in leadership, and I have a bachelor's in liberal studies.
How y'all doing? My name is Shanta Williams Jr. I go to North Carolina A&T State University, and I'm getting my bachelor's in science and kinesiology, concentration in sports management, and a minor in marketing.
I think my friend's gonna be mad at me for mentioning this. We went to Vegas for the NAACP annual convention, and they have the youth and college division for young people in the NAACP, and then they were doing different colleges in your state, and they were talking about A&T, and then she was like, "A&T's a state university." I'm like, just because you hear A&T all the time doesn't mean it's a state university. So we troll her the whole time. It was like A&T State University. So we just troll her the whole time. She'll probably get mad at me if she sees this. But our first question, what was the biggest challenge you faced during your transition from high school to college, and how did you guys overcome it?
Okay, I'll start. So it wasn't really a big transition, only because during high school I did dual enrollment. So I've kind of already knew what to expect going into it. It's just the main thing for me was navigating wanting that initial get on campus friends, party, all that stuff. But because my school was predominantly white, it was kind of hard to, find friends and, find that place I fit in on campus. So, yeah.
I would say mine was more so time management. 8 o'clock in high school is not 8 o'clock in college. They're two different 8 o'clocks. They're way different.
Yeah.
So I think I had to learn the time management, and my mom was not going to be there to hit me when my alarm goes off and I'm getting up. I think that, and also just that newfound freedom of being away from home. My mama's not there to get on me about the small things or clean your room or whatever. And I think I kind of rebelled for the first maybe year of I'm eating ice cream just because I can and it's 9 o'clock. And who's gonna check me, right?
Right.
So I think that freedom and learning how to not be so extreme on it and kind of bring it back in, because I had my grades did suffer a little bit because I was just doing all the things because I'm grown now.
Right.
So I think that, along with my time management, was probably something that I wish somebody would have.
I really like the rebellion thing, because I hear it's very, very common. So once you turn 18 and you get out your parents' house, you're like, I do what I want.
I do what I want to do.
My mom ain't here. She ain't gonna tell me no. She can't stop me from anything. So I'm gonna experience everything and do everything. I want to say I won't be one of those kids though, because my mom does give me freedom, but it's more like a controlled freedom. So when I go, it's not like I've never done anything.
Easier said
for sure.
Right, it probably is easier said than done. It's probably easier said than done.
It depends on who you are as a person, though.
Yeah.
What means more to you?
Right. I think my brand, because I done built a brand, so I don't want to go out there and just be
For sure.
I'm free. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think
I think
that's
mostly. I think that was for me. I'm the same way now. My friends, they did all the things, right?
Okay,
but
okay.
mine was like I said, I'm gonna eat this ice cream because my mama is not here to tell me I can't.
Right.
And more things like that, or I'll stay out later than I typically would, knowing I was so sleepy. But like my mom did let me experience a lot before I went to college as well. So because I think she wanted to know like how far I would go and how much she needed to reel me in before.
Right.
So I appreciate that. Shout out to my mama.
I think
Thank you.
that's what my mom does. She want to see how far I'm willing to like just pull the rope, and then she be like, "Nah, you're not going that far."
Okay, and this is why you should. So,
Right.
yeah.
It was different though, because my mom was right down the street. Like,
Mine too.
Oh yeah.
like so I
That's
don't,
even worse. That's actually even worse.
So it's not like I'm that far away.
My mom and my dad.
Where
Were
Oh no, I'll be an hour away. So I'm going to Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Or I plan to go to Chapel Hill. So I'm like an hour away. So I don't have to worry about my mom coming up, popping up with cans, and be like, "Hey, what you doing? I'm good to see you." No, she's an hour away, so I don't have to worry about that. But I have heard a lot of people they rather stay home. But a lot of people I honestly, if I could choose a college again, or if I didn't already have my mind fixated on going to Chapel Hill, I probably would have went to a university closer to home, so I could stay at home. That way, it's like cheaper, and then I don't have to spend a bunch of money on housing, home cooked meal.
That makes a difference.
I heard people love going home for the home cooked meal.
Yeah,
like it's like
it's
like Sunday dinner. Like you get to get it every single day when you go home.
It keeps a little bit of like normalcy to your routine, and I think that helped a lot with me being local. I was still about almost an hour away from home at that point, but I think having that level of like, I know when Friday comes, I'm going home, I'm going to my brother's game, I'm going to church on Sunday, I'm going to rehearsal on Saturday. Like I still have that routine.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of actually helped me through the week. I was a little prideful. I wanted to go like really, really far, but I am glad that I at least stayed within the state because, it was easier for me to get home.
A lot of my friends are like, I'm leaving. Like they was like, once I graduate, I'm gone. I'm traveling states away. You never see me again. I'm like,
good.
I did it.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
Sounds good.
It sounded great.
Like,
Sounds
amazing.
I feel like life's gonna hit, and they gonna be like, I'm transferring. I can't do it no more.
I don't know. I was
Sounds
that kid
great.
that always like traveled, got away from home, but like literally that third day, I'm like, "Mom, can you come get me? Like I'm ready to go."
That's how
Like,
it is,
yeah.
What are some things that you had to go through transitioning?
So my story is a little different. So I was in the Marines for 6 years. I graduated in 2015. So shout out to the class of 2015.
Yeah.
So when I got to school, I think I got out of the Marines 2 days after I started school. So my transition was completely different. I think I was I might have been sitting in biology 100. And he just went over the syllabus.
Oh.
It was just the syllabus, and I called my mom. I called all my friends. I said, "Hey, listen, I might be coming back. I'm not gonna keep doing this, y'all. This is stressful. It's a lot. It's gonna be 4 years of this." And I think what I had to do, honestly, was really get back into the rhythm of getting up and going to school, knowing that I got to go do this, because essentially I need to do this. You got to know like what the end goal is. I think realizing what the end goal is and getting a degree and being able to go out into the world and do whatever you would like to do in your career path. Yeah, that was really like my biggest transition. Was like, all right, let's turn it on. Now you got to turn something on.
Get it back up.
You got to find that dog in you. You got to find
Yeah.
that dog. Either a dog or you a cat.
Right, you had we had to do when we do dual enroll. That was definitely like a major transition. So like you go 9th, 10th regular high school. You go into summer break, college. No, go back to school because college starts like I think 2 weeks before high school does.
Yep.
So there's no going to high school and be like, I'm not ready. No, you're going as soon as they start, and then you're right in class.
Yeah.
And then we went in. I think we had geology. So my first semester I had geology. I hated it. We went in. I was like when I was talking to other colleges, they were like, usually they just go over the syllabus and send you home the first day. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Went to geology, went over the syllabus. Chapter 1. I was like,
no, wait, I wasn't ready.
I'm like, no, they told me syllabus go home, not syllabus chapter 1 first day. I was expecting the next day I was going to syllabus.
They don't
chapter
wait
1.
either. They
hit
pound you with the homework right then.
Yeah,
right
they give it to you on your desk. I need a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just learned chapter 1 an hour ago, and you want me to do homework on it? Oh, well, okay, cool. So it was like a major smack in the face. It's like, all right, college. So I would say the transition for me is going to be a lot smoother because I'm already going to have like college experience under my belt.
Yeah.
But
I wish I had
that first like initial summer break college was like, oh my God, that hit like a
I
truck.
can definitely because I had math and chemistry and
Oh no.
that don't mix.
It must be nice, y'all.
I passed
ain't even
chemistry
gonna
by
lie
the grace of God.
Dual enrollment.
It got to be nice. It must be nice.
I didn't have, so when I had dual enrollment, I could only do up to 2 classes per semester, and we couldn't start until, I don't know that I started my first semester of 11th grade year. I think it was second. And then, so I only had really like a year and a half, and I could only take 2 classes per semester. The fact that y'all get to get an associate's degree, I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous.
Oh no, it's like the full 6 classes load.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that a reality.
Yeah, it's like a hard reality check because now you got freedom. So you can go up there, do what you want. You got no principal breathing down your back.
Yeah.
You got your mom can't talk to your professors. You can't be like, Mom, my professor bullying me. I need you to talk. There's none of that. There's like, you got to talk to him. So it's like a big freedom. So it's like, I was like, okay, I love the freedom. But then the class was like, do you really love this freedom?
It comes with such a weight.
Well, did you go on with friends? Because that's when I can say friends was important during that time. Like,
oh no, yeah, we have a good, we have a group. I think it's like 17 of us. So we just added the juniors coming in this year to our senior group chat for GTech, and we always help each other out. But with geology, I think that's where it was stressful the first week. But the seniors before us was like, we got y'all. They sent us all the let me not say they sent us all the resources to pass. They sent us all the resources to pass our class. So we always had stuff to pass because they was like, we got y'all. We gonna make sure we help you out. They helped us study. So we will always be in like conference rooms studying like the material. So we will be good for the next class. So that's kind of what we do now. So we help the juniors. They'll come to us. We'll help them out. So biggest transition is just realizing the freedom and the ability that you have now being on the college campus. There's no more control. It's like you have to do what you got. You got to get to class. You got to make sure you're managing your time properly. If you don't show up to class, of course they'll give you like, I think it's like the first 6. They'll let you pass like the first 6. Yeah, but then after 6, your grade drops by a whole letter grade, I think, or it's like a percentage. And I'm like, a whole letter grade for missing one class? They're like, we don't care, 1 letter grade.
Oh yeah.
So now it's just managing freedom. Yeah.
They don't have that at that point.
No, I'm saying like that's new because when I went to GTech, it wasn't like that. Like, it wasn't like a whole letter grade. It was probably like 5 points for like attendance because you're not getting your class participation.
Yeah.
But
at A&T, they'll drop you if you miss three classes. It's over. You drop the whole letter grade.
See, yeah, they say that,
unexcused too.
I'm on my dang 4th absence for one of my classes right now. 4th or 5th.
Oh wow! But yeah,
I think I just got a good connection with the professor.
One of my friends was terrified.
That matters. That's how I passed chemistry.
Front row. I don't care.
I talked to my communications professor. I'm public speaker by trade, so I do public speaking for fun, like for work, all of that. That's like my gift. That's my love. I was like, okay, communications class, I'm taking that's gonna be easy. I walked in that class, we started doing communications, but I was like, what?
It's really hard.
I don't know what this is, and I've been doing this for 6 years. And she was like, I'm gonna help you. And I was sitting there, and she was like, I've watched you speak before. You're a good speaker. And I was like, why aren't I passing the class then? She was like, it's a lot more to communications than just talking. So when I started taking that class, that like was really, I think it was like hard reality test. I was like, I'm a communicator. Why am I failing communication?
That was probably the first class that I almost failed. And because it was hard for me to get it, because I knew I was like almost on the fringe of failing it, it was hard for me to get up to go to the class. And then I'm talking about seconds late. If I'm coming off that elevator and it's 9:00, and I haven't got to her door at 9:00, she's shutting the door in your face in front of everybody, and she's making you wait until she takes up the homework. Then she'll let you in. So your homework, now you have a 0 on your homework, and you got a target.
See, that's the teachers that.
And you're humiliated in front of everybody.
oh, I couldn't.
They ain't had no remorse back then. Either.
No,
There was no
see,
remorse.
They
got
There
some
was no
remorse now
talking
at
them
G-Tech.
down.
There's
No.
There was no
G-Tech.
pleading.
And then she was a black lady, so I was like, please. Like,
No, like we would have been having a conversation after class. Like, you're not gonna do this to me. That's the thing I can't say. Like, I will not let a professor or whatever play in my face. Like, I'm here to get. Their main thing was, oh, I already got my degree. I'm here to get y'all's, so
Right.
help me get mine. Like,
yeah.
Don't
I'm a
just-
human. That's the main
Yeah.
thing.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Just pass it on. Like,
Like-
you wouldn't want that to be done to you.
Yeah, I would
When you
email
was-
them
when
real
you was
quick.
email.
Office hours, I'm
That's a whole
there.
nother conversation.
Yeah.
Oh no, one of my professors played with me recently. So we did assignments, and if she didn't like the way you did it,
Mhm.
she'll give you a placeholder 0. So my grade was like a 58
Mm.
for
She
like
knows
for like
overachievers can't stand
Yeah.
to
For
stand
like
at 58.
3 weeks, and I was like, please regrade my assignment. She was like, I'll get to it when it's time for when it's my week to regrade assignments. I'm like, I got to deal with 58. I got to go report to my high school with my grades, and I got 58. Got my mom on my back. Why is your grade a 58? Like, I got a placeholder 0. I don't know what else to tell you. I did the assignment.
Yeah.
But let's hop into our second question. Looking back, what do you wish you had known before starting your freshman year of college?
Ooh.
I would say going into freshman year at G-Tech, watch the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Cause oh my God, if you hang with the wrong people, it'd be so easy just to slump into it, just fall into it. They're like, don't go to class. We're gonna sit here and have
Just
fun.
one
It's
class.
just one class, and now you done missed 3 classes. You done missed all your classes for the week, and I'm like,
Like,
all
what
classes for
happened?
my week? What happened?
What happened? How did I get here?
Yeah.
So it's very easy because they'll
Yeah.
entice you. They're like, just stay. We're gonna go get food. Oh, food.
The food will get you
The
every
food
time.
for
It's
me.
the food.
My mom says I'm a fat boy. My mom says I'm a fat boy. I will agree with her on this one. I am probably like a fat boy. If you say food, I'm there. So when they be like, oh, we're going to get food,
Every time.
where? What you need from me?
What time?
How much does it cost?
is it?
I'll be there.
What's your cash app?
Right. So that was me, and I was like, food. All right, bet. You got me. I ain't gonna do that. So
No, we started
definitely
doing
watch
that,
your
like,
friends.
We was missing class like crazy because every freaking week we was out trying new restaurants.
Trying to restaurant, it gets you
We
every
was
time.
at a new restaurant every week.
Oh my God, I loved it. It was
Every
so,
time.
the first semester. I still had good grades, but I just not going to class as much as I should have because I was eating, having fun.
Like it's literally, it's like,
Yeah.
Mom, I promise, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just eating pizza. Like it's
I was literally just eating, but my
all
grades
get
are
in
good.
the car.
Yeah, it's,
It was the car conversations.
the
Like,
car conversations are great.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what mine is. I'm ready.
Okay, what's yours?
All right, listen. Like, zoom in.
oh,
Look at me.
Coming close.
You do not need to go to every party.
okay.
You do not need to
That's
go
a
to every
great
party.
one.
That's some of the parties be cool. You do not need to go to every party. Every party is
I'm not
alright
a partier, so I don't think I got to worry about
Me
that.
either.
Thank
I
God.
wasn't a partier
Oh.
either. And then
until
I went
you
to
got
college.
to college. Until you got to college,
And
and
I
you
was
find
like,
out how
wow.
it really gets. That'd be mine. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, because A&T, yeah, A&T.
It's A&T.
I feel like it would have been different though if I did go to a black college,
Yeah.
but I didn't.
They say
And I did that on
HBCUs are
Yeah.
really
No,
like they can.
AT.
Well, yeah, it is kind of close though. It is kind
That's
of close.
Yeah, 'cause you're High
What's
Point.
Salem close?
Those are close. You're High Point University. You're like in the middle of like both of
Yeah.
two major
Mhm.
kind of HBC parties.
Don't try it out next weekend.
And I got friends. No, I'm
Gino
scared to
coming
go
up.
to what's the AT?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
They say
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
trying to get
Gino
shot
party.
walking down the
Hey,
street.
I got
calm
some-
down. You ain't gotta.
I got some-
Calm down.
I got some Gino stories.
We the illustrious now.
Oh no, I
Very
got
lucky.
campus though.
They say greatest homecoming on earth.
It is.
It
No,
is.
I've never-
And I didn't even go there.
No.
It is. For sure,
I've
it's
never
the best.
been. But
It is.
No, it's not.
You don't even have to be
Man.
at the school during the homecoming.
No.
The city is just
packed.
it's packed and it's fun. every
Right.
time.
When we was planning the grand finale for my event, my season ends in October. My aunt was like, "Do not plan it on the week of homecoming for A&T, or no one's gonna be there."
Yeah, no, it's there.
No one's
I think we
gonna
were
be
looking at October 19th. She was like, "Don't do it.
No.
No one's gonna be there." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Jiho." I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all I gotta say is Jiho, and that's it.
Yeah.
And she was like, just plan another week. And
Because
everybody,
everybody
Every
is
G-Ho, the
going
last
to
couple
come
of
out for
years,
that.
somebody done got shot. So I
That's
do
not
Seriously.
No.
that's not Geo that you're talking about.
No.
That's something else.
No, y'all
That's
make the
something else.
news. Y'all make the news every year.
We on the news for the good things too.
Good and bad.
For the
Y'all
good things
50-50.
too. What you mean
50-50?
50-50?
I love how the A&T students just fighting. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
Like,
we're the
they
greatest.
are.
We
We
are
got
the
the
greatest.
greatest school.
We are the
Greatest
greatest.
It is a
homecoming.
great school. I know what mine is. Mine is that kind of along the same lines of like watch your crowd, but that people change and that you change.
Seasons.
So there's seasons, and I think I learned who I connected with my freshman year, who I thought, everybody talks about their lifelong college buddy.
Right. Or
And
the
they
HBCU
leave.
love story.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that on the internet recently.
All
I just
the
wanted to-
time.
That was so funny.
And
He went
Yeah.
through it. He went. Oh, he went
like,
through.
it's me.
He was like, I was going there. I went to A&T for the love
For
story,
the love story, but
and it didn't work.
Mine
I
was
thought
a
it
G-Tech
was
love story.
I
It was
thought
still going
my
strong.
school was gonna be
you take love.
I thought it was gonna be just like the best man. I don't know why. I thought everything was gonna be just
Oh,
like
yeah.
the best
They
man.
was
I
talking
was
about
just
Stomp the Yard or
friends.
something like that. It was like, you gonna have an
Nah.
HBCU love story like Stomp the Yard. It's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
and
And it just- a lot of people just did
drumline.
Right.
Drumlines are good. Yeah, drumlines are good. Ones
I mean, I literally thought that the people that I was friends with and in relationship, that's a whole nother day. But even the friendship part, like who I connected with my freshman year, they evolved. Like I changed, of course, and so did they. But some of the ways that they changed, and maybe even possibly some of the ways that I changed, like it just did not. Our friendships over time just. They tried stuff. I'm like, yeah, no, here's the line, and you crossed it, and I'm not going that far out there. So I think a lot of relationships, even relationships that I had in high school, that we were friends going into college. We might have even went to the same college, and the way our relationship shifted and changed over time, I was not prepared for that, and I think that also affected my grades, my academics, in that way because. As you like, social emotional is a real thing, and I think it impacts people more than they know. And so I think that was something that really jarred me. Like friendship breakups are almost as bad as regular romantic breakups sometimes. So I think just the shock of that, like, kind of really took me off my rocker for a second.
I don't think
And then
I'm
to see
bad
that
with
person
that.
around,
You
you
said
just
the
like,
person was-
Yeah.
I would love to
I
speak to
said
you, but
one
you
day.
can't. It's tough. That is a tough one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna be as bad as that though with the friendships. I think I got very good at like releasing people with love. So I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
And
I
I
hope
was
you're the best.
hold on. I was a very like, no, I'm a very forgiving person. So I'm like, no, it's okay. They're gonna change. They're gonna do better. And then they didn't, and I was like, no, please don't do this to me.
Oh, no.
And I hate that. I used to hate to have to release people. Now I'm like,
I think I learned that lesson early. It's like you can only
Yeah.
you can only want the best for somebody as much as they want for
they want
themselves.
it themselves.
So if you can't force somebody to be better than what
So
they
much
want to be
done
for
there.
themselves. So it's like when I'm trying to be friends with somebody and I'm like, I believe in you. I see this in your future. I think you can be this, and that.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, I
Yeah.
guess it is what it is. But I'm going to repeat the question. So looking back on what you did. Looking back, what do you wish you had known before starting your freshman year of college?
Ooh, the roommates.
Man,
The roommates. Look, I toured Hop University. The roommates were so beautiful. I was like, Mom, I'll take out a student loan, whatever. I need my own room. I did not get my own room.
Oh.
I got a roommate. That was the worst. It was so bad that I literally next semester I moved off campus and I got my own house now because
She
of
was
the
done.
roommate. Yeah,
I did it too.
because of the roommate. Like
that'll do it.
people are not as clean as you. Like
People.
it's
I
just
had
like you
the
just
Courtesy.
craziest. Like my first roommate.
Courtesies.
My first roommate is my best friend now. So like we
that's
kind of had our changes. We went through
Doing that.
our things, but like that's like my sister.
Yeah.
But the roommate I had during the summertime, insane. I never saw her, and this was a hot summer, y'all. Never saw her take a shower. I had a friend that came over.
Oh,
She was a
no.
drama major, so I would get up early to go to class. So she would but she would sleep in because she would be up all night doing sets or other things. So one day, I'm like, like she's really. I've never seen her take a shower. One day I skipped class. Kid you not, I skipped class just to see if she would shower. She did not. She stayed in the bed until it was time for her to get up, and then she came back the next, that night at like 2 a.m. and then she got right in the bed, and I was like,
Oh, you had a little
no,
hamster on you.
yeah.
Oh, I would have left.
But then the crazy part
that's
is,
even the bad part.
one of my, I told you the story, didn't I? She literally, well, I had a friend that came over, so we had like the little desk, in our room. So my friend was sitting at her desk, and she had like a lot of medication, but I thought it was like health stuff, and I'm not thinking to look at your medication, but it was all like for like mental health stuff, and I was like, oh, this
That was my roommate, right?
severe. So I was like, oh, okay. But then this is the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm laying in, because we got like the really high bunk beds. So I'm laying in my bed one morning. It's a Saturday. I didn't go home that Saturday. I'm like about to go to a study group. It's early. The sun wakes me up, and I roll over because I'm about to get out of bed. I didn't know that she slept naked. And the cover had fallen off. And all I see is just, she was pretty heavy sicker. I saw her, and I was like, I told my mama, just come get me, bring the bins. It's time to go. I'm going to just come home and finish this out. And I'm like, I'm going to finish it out.
Yeah, like I was
God.
never in my dorm after that.
Oh, no. It's
Like,
I think that
crazy.
my mom said when we was talking about colleges, she was like, if you're going to go to college and you stay on campus, don't go to college and room with your best friend that you made in high school.
Yeah.
That'll be
Because
the
she was like,
last
that'll be
time.
the end of
That'll
the
be the end of
friendship.
the
I
friendship.
believe that.
And she was like, if you go, you'll find out they're not clean.
Mm-hmm.
They
You
don't
be
take
like,
care
why
of
am I your
themselves.
friend?
And you could be like, we was cool all through high school. You always
Yeah.
you
They gonna
didn't
drink
smell.
your juice. They gonna take stuff.
yes, that was my
That's
problem.
my pet peeve.
Set boundaries in the beginning and like keep reinforcing them.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a little different because you're most likely gonna have a white roommate, being that you are going to that school. So they are not as clean as you. They shed like dogs. Their hair is literally everywhere. Like it's bad. Like I was literally reporting them because why is the hair all over the shower?
And
like-
you're such a clean freak.
Yes,
I
like
can't
it was.
imagine.
It was really bad.
Wait,
like,
wait, aren't there like shared showers in college?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay, so it's not shared showers.
like mine was okay. So
Mine
like
was a shared, like
Because they
the
said you
whole
share it.
floor
Uh-uh.
used one.
I wouldn't go to do
Oh, I
that.
can't
Like
do
a
that.
community shower.
A community, I literally
Oh,
wanted to
no.
die every day.
So ours was like it's two girls in one
This
room,
was, it's still like
two in the
that.
other.
I know, cause Barbie's like that, and
Yeah,
Barbie
I went to
like that.
UNCG. I graduated
Morrison like
there
that.
in 2012.
Oh no, I can't. I don't think I could do a community shower.
Yeah,
I
mine
think
was
I
Get
would.
an apartment.
I
Yeah,
would
try to get
literally
an apartment.
drive an hour home every day than take a community shower.
I wanted to literally.
That's
go out.
bad. I can't do a community
I
shower.
think the best advice is to like try to get one of the university apartments because
Yeah,
But
you'll
you can't get that
guarantee.
your first year.
Depending on
Depending on
what
what
school.
school you're at.
A&T does that.
Mm-hmm. A&T will do that.
Yeah.
A&T
Oh
does
man,
that.
I couldn't.
But we
Yeah.
also have a housing problem. So yeah, I mean,
Or like.
I spoke up for y'all, A&T. I was here.
Yeah.
I spoke up for y'all.
He did fight for your home.
I fought for y'all.
He
Yeah.
I fought for
fought
y'all.
with the home team.
They
But now he's speaking the truth.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't know. Goodness. Let's hop into our third question. How did you manage the increased independence and the responsibility that comes with college life?
One, set your timers, write your plans out. Like that's something I fell off with, but like recently I've been getting back into like setting my set plan for the whole week, whatever events I want to go to, classes, like all that stuff, and setting your alarms on your phone will do wonders for you. And then also having that mindset you don't want to fail in life. Like
Right.
this is setting you up for the future. So if you organize your life now, you'll be ahead of the game when you're older.
A lot of people say like college is like your like plan for life.
Pre-life.
So like depending on how you
Yeah.
do in college, like how you take care of yourself, how you act in
For
college,
sure.
will like 100% determine how you're gonna act outside of
Mhm.
college. So if you're like
Yeah.
partying 24/7, not taking baths, not clean. When you get out of college and you get your own house, sleeping naked,
You're building
you gonna be
habits.
just like that.
It's literally
You're just
right.
gonna be just like that when you get out of college.
Oh
So,
yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think that just kind of going on with you, like having a planner, knowing what works for you, because what may work for you may not work for somebody else, and vice versa. I think just finding out, like, I think because you use the Notion app, I love Notion.
I love Notion.
Notion. I wish I would have had Notion like in college. It would have worked way better for me than
Yeah.
a paper planner. But I was a paper planner at that point. I think that's something that I did. Learning to take the time at the end of every like quarter semester to sit down and to reevaluate like where I am, because even if I have been partying too much or slacking off on class, just a moment to sit there and evaluate where am I at and where am I trying to go.
Right.
That would a lot of times allow me to course correct if I was off, and because I did it so often, I never got too far out there where I couldn't come back. And I think that is something that really, really helped me to just sit down and go, like, what are my plans? What are my goals? And because those change too from year to year as you go through, as you matriculate through college,
Yeah.
and you're exposed to more things. What you think you want to do when you come into college might shift and change, depending on, and that's okay to do that, because mine changed like 3 times. But
Three times?
3 times.
From what to?
I came in wanting to do military psychology,
Mm.
and then I wanted to do, and then I wanted to
man.
do.
That sounds rough.
It is.
I wanted to get into like criminal justice,
Okay.
and then I still ended up in social sciences. But I always wanted to educate.
Oh.
And I knew that education was my passion,
Right.
or at least the tip of my passion. I knew that my purpose would start in education, because I dreamed of being a teacher since I was a kid. But because people say teachers don't make money and all these things, I kind of veered away from it.
Right.
But I ended up there anyway.
You made 2 and 2 work.
I made it work.
You made 2 and 2 work.
Wait, so looking back, would you have went to college straight away into being like going on the teacher track?
Nope.
Now?
Nope.
No?
Because I'm able to expose the students I teach to more, because I didn't just take the English track, math track. And for instance, like Honors Academy, we really dabbled in everything. We did a little math, we did a little reading, we did a little STEM. But because of the exposure that I had, trying out all the things, it helped me to expose my students to more things. And so I think I would have boxed myself in had I went to school for education and not liberal studies, and not, and I got my master's in education, because, people pushed me, you should get your master's in education. Right. And I started the program right before COVID, hated it. And I was like, what is my passion? My passion is leadership. I want to make anybody I come in contact with, I want them to be better leaders when they leave me. Mm-hmm. And I think that that pushed me to go into the leadership track. And that's what I push into my class on a daily anyway, is how to lead, how to be a better person, like personal development. That's my thing. But had I gone into school for education, I would have boxed myself in to being just a teacher, when I know that I could be more than that.
I really did like your honors class. Like,
ours was more counseling services than anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, ours.
You can tell I wanted to be a psychologist, right? Therapist.
When we did honors, I think that's when I wrote my first ever essay. Like,
aren't you so glad?
I was like, I gotta write essays in the 6th grade.
6th grade.
And they were like 3-page essays too. Nothing short, like it was 3-page essays.
I made them work so hard.
It was like
that's short now.
And it was like college formatted essays. I'm like,
APA,
college
MLA.
formatted essays in the 6th grade.
In the 6th grade. Oh, I had them doing in-text citations.
Yeah.
It was the real
it's best
deal.
to know that now too.
Doesn't it make it easier now to write a paper? I tell people, I'm like, if somebody would have taught me this in 6th grade, and then, because I did have in high school teachers that made us write 15-page papers. We're like, for what?
Right.
So when I got to college and they were like, 3-page paper is due at the end of the semester, I'm like, lady, I had to do that for homework. So I was like, give them more so that when they get to college, and y'all are writing them by hand.
Yeah. So we come to classes.
The most I had was 10 pages. And I did not write it. I will be honest. I paid someone to write it. I was not writing 10 pages.
Okay, so I was gonna ask a spin-off question and get back to the question. But now that if you could go back to college now, right,
Mhm.
and you could have all the tools that my generation has, so AI and Chat GPT
Yeah.
and all of those
That's
different
good.
things,
All the time.
would you go back to college with our stuff?
Oh man.
And then if you could, how would you do it differently? Because we got so many
You
tools.
can
And
take your time.
honestly, my teacher gets so mad at me all the time. I had recently went into her office because she had caught me using AI. And I'm like, firstly, AI is the new wave. It's either you get with it or get lost. Like eventually when we go down, if we get in a few years, I'll say maybe 5 years later, everything's gonna be run by AI.
Everything.
So it's like if either I learn how to use it now or I'm gonna get left. So you're gonna stop me.
It's already been
I
good.
using
say
it,
lean
we've been
into
having it
it.
for a
Even
while.
as a teacher, and as an English teacher, I know kids are using AI.
Right.
I wrote my master's paper and I used AI because I'm like, I don't know what subheadings to even research.
Right.
I put in ChatGPT, and in about 10 seconds, I had the entire format, and I'm like, boom, we're going with this.
Right.
And I wrote my paper accordingly. And I'm like, when I don't know how to word something, I put it in ChatGPT. When I don't know this year or last year, I wasn't supposed to teach English. I was supposed to be teaching math lab. But then they're like, hey, we just teach English. So I'm like, okay, cool. What did I do? I'm like, I don't have any curriculum. What did I do? I picked 4 books and I put it in ChatGPT and was like, give me a little rollout, friend. And it did. And I'm like, bet, here we go.
Right.
There you go. I'm teaching this.
That's what really confuses me about professors now because they try to stop you. They put so many roadblocks and stops in the way.
Ours love it.
They
of
want you
using
to.
ChatGPT.
They want you to have to. I think older people
Or AI in
often
general.
want you to go through the good fight, like they had to go through the good
There's
fight.
an age group that it stops at. There's
Right.
an age group
Wait.
as a professor that it
I have a
stops.
comment for this.
Yeah.
The thing with using all this technology now is that you're not getting the basic skills that you need. Like we kind of grew up getting those skills, so
Right,
it's
right.
like this is just
Y'all are
like
the last generation
Yeah.
to get it.
this is like enhancing that.
Right.
But like for like little kids coming up, they do not need to be using no ChatGPT to
Okay,
do their
I would
homework,
agree with that.
learn
yeah.
their stuff. Like they
Yeah.
need those development skills in their brain.
I would
I feel like
definitely
they should be able
agree
to.
with
They
that.
should block it from like
Yeah.
high school on down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say.
But-
I'll say like ninth grade. Ninth
Yeah.
grade, you need to.
Because
You need to
the-
know the skills.
The basic
Yeah.
comprehension
Because
skills.
as a 9th grade teacher, I see how many kids don't have it.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Ninth
I'm
grade.
looking at at current, I know I did like a short journal prompt, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Your classes could have bare minimum 15, 20 minutes. Y'all could give me a page handwritten,
Yeah.
easy, every single day. I mean, y'all do it every single day.
Really.
I tell you, I was like, if you don't know what to write, fluff it. You learn how to fluff on paper. Like push come to shove, you can get out of 1-page paper like that because your mind can actually do that. I gave them 7 minutes. The majority of the kids could not give me 5 sentences.
Because their brain can't
They
comprehend that.
cannot give me more than that.
Yeah.
They're like, I can get 3. I'm like, but I asked you 4 questions, so if they remember 4, the math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
But
But they
like-
got ChatGPT giving it to them in 1 second. Like,
1 second, and they just don't even. So then they become lazy thinkers
Mhm.
to the point like they don't even like. I don't know how to think, but know how to think, and I'm like, you don't know how to like internally ask more questions and dig.
Yeah.
They don't even know what I mean by that. So I even have a hard time going like, how do I simplify it even more than that? Because of the technology. I think it's great when you have the basic skills. Like I know how to write a paper. I could have written a 50-page paper by myself, but I was struggling with subtopics. So I put in what are some subtopics I can talk about, and boom,
You got the subtitle.
and then I got subtopics.
It's different using it as a tool because I know for me, like I'll use it, but I'll go through and like change it to my own. How I
just
think.
read through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
like you just use it as a guide, but they're using it as like, oh no, this is gonna
Copy
be
and
my homework
paste,
for
that's
me.
it.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't even know what the American Revolution is. So why is it in here?
yeah,
Like
you're
Right,
using
yeah.
big words. You don't even know what this word means. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
because then
I can see
proclivities.
that.
It's like you don't even
I
spell
get
your
it.
name
It's
right.
not in your vocabulary.
I can definitely see like having a limit on it because like
For
there
sure.
should definitely be a point where you know all the basic skills and then it's like now that you know the basic skills and you can thrive on your own,
Let me tell you how to make it
now
easier.
let me make it easier for you.
Yeah.
I like that.
But
So
I
let's
feel like
somebody
that's why
get caught like
professors
that.
now are like, no, you can't use it because they're trying to help you keep those skills that you have already.
Yeah.
And it kind of does take away because I can't say I did get a little lazy, but
definitely I could agree.
I don't know, but like all my teachers love it. They're like, use ChatGPT. We know you're gonna use it anyway, so
Yeah, just
I've seen somebody get caught with it for real, and it was like bad, like really bad. Because at the end of the day, like I'm in sports science.
Right.
I have sports science classes, so you have like human anatomy, and you say all the anatomy in the world. There's some things that most folks can't even pronounce,
mhm.
and it got so bad that like you got to submit like these research papers and whatnot. You have to have the in-text citation. You have to have APA, MLA format. So they just made them read it out loud.
and they can't even pronounce.
Couldn't pronounce.
They don't even know
nothing.
what they're
Couldn't even know what they was
talking
talking
because
about.
they put it all.
And I think it's
All
scary
through
for
AI.
stuff like sports medicine because you are going to
You're
be
supposed to help
working
somebody. You're
with
supposed to work with
people's
somebody.
bodies.
People are trying to be sports therapists,
Scary.
PT, ATC,
Because you won't
athletic
really
trainers. You
know.
won't really know.
Okay, so no, I seen
That's
I
what's
seen
scary
a
for our
TikTok
generation.
video about this.
So
I seen a
scary.
TikTok video about this, and it was like I got an injury, and I went to the hospital, and then they take me off of what is it called? It's some kind of anesthesia. They take you off of that, and you look up, and it's your friend that passed through medical school with AI, and you're like, oh, I'm dead.
I'm dead.
I'm dead. He didn't know what he was doing. I'm dead.
You're really hallucinating at that point.
Right, because they're like, my friend just went through all school, all 12 years with AI. He did nothing. And now he's working on me.
hey, I need help with this. I don't know what I can do.
So bad.
And then I identify the strength. I like to talk. I know I move. My mouth moves fast. I know how to get. I know how to sell stuff. So I know how to get myself out there. So once you learn how to just, that was my strength. It was like, okay, I know how to talk. I know how to make people relate to me. I bring people towards me. I can bring people towards me. So if I can do that, then I can get help.
Yeah.
Boom. That was that. So I don't know. It was just kind of identifying and have some accountability of myself.
If the sound cut out, guys, I am so sorry. We had disconnected from our audio thing had disconnected. So if you're on the podcast and you cannot hear us, we're working on it. We're getting everything turned back on, but we're gonna continue with the conversation. You can go ahead.
Yeah, just accountability. Really, that was the whole kind of, I guess, format for me. Like just understanding that you got to be up and you got to do certain things. There's certain things you have to get done. And watch whatever TV show you watching, whether if you in the anime, Bridgerton, for the sciencey people, Stranger Things. Stranger Things is smooth, so if you don't like it, it's a problem. And then like you can't do that all day. So essentially, you got to get up, you got to go out there, you got to do something. Like get up and go talk to folks. That was really like the thing that I had to do. Learn how to transition that.
Accountability. More for yourself. That was that main thing.
The accountability piece is so important because even in our generation, who has like the a little bit more life skills and a little bit more like the shift before AI and technology came into play, a lot of us just don't have accountability, and we're just like, wasn't me. I don't know what happened, and I'm like, you're not gonna be able to get through life like that. Like you get to the real world,
and the work
it's not gonna happen.
It's like, why are you doing that? And they're like, and he's like, Jeremiah, stop doing that. And the kids are like, I didn't do that. And I'm like, you have no accountability. And I think y'all have a little more accountability than like the kids that are coming up now. But I definitely see, and y'all would actually listen. I feel like you guys' generation or like age group of kids actually listened. Like there are times, like she said, like your class was like a council. I know I would lecture and lecture and lecture and lecture and lecture. You need to be accountable. You need to be accountable. And then eventually, you're in middle school, like you don't really want to hear me lecture every day, but I knew something was sticking because I would see like changes.
Right.
Versus like now, I'm like having some of the same lectures and they're not listening as much as like when you guys are there. So I think like just even hearing somebody say like you gotta be accountable for self to go like, you know what, I messed that up.
Because a lot of people don't understand that it's gonna transpire when you go into the workplace and when you really want to start doing stuff. Like everybody wants to work for Nike. Everyone wants to be an athlete. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to have these businesses.
Right.
Everything. If you're not accountable of certain stuff, you're gonna lose out on a lot of business, a lot of things, and a lot of opportunities.
Even if you can get yourself in the door, you will not be able to sustain the doors that you talk your way in, or the gifts that you have that make room for you. If you do not know how to steward that by first being accountable to what it is that you have been gifted with, you're gonna lose it just as fast as you can get it. Like you said, you realize you're a good communicator. I've heard people who like have like certain gifts and they have like the gift of gab, I call it, and they can talk their way into the door.
Right.
But as soon as they get in there, they lose it because they are so not accountable to say like, oh, I meant like a simple thing of, oh yeah, I really didn't know how to do that, so I messed it up. Like, could you please show me? They're like, I don't know why she blamed
so much more.
Yeah, and they'll respect you so much more for doing it. But a lot of people just are not accountable at all, and I think that separates good from great. A lot of times
literally
is who's accountable.
Right. I think honestly, I'm glad I learned accountability early because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when I was in school or even at home, stuff would happen. Like, man,
wasn't me.
I don't know who did it.
It's easy to do this.
It's easy to raise your hand.
It's so easy to shrug.
Me.
Like, the Kanye shrug is
right.
Like,
but then eventually, it's like it comes to a point where it's like I really got it. Like I did it. I did it.
It was me.
And then once you say you did it, you don't even. It's not even as bad as you thought it was gonna be. Like for me, I avoided accountability because I thought I was gonna get in trouble 24/7. So like whenever I mess up and I'm like, I did it, I thought I was gonna get wore out. Like I thought I was done.
Yeah.
But as soon as I be like, it was me. She was like, oh, okay. Let's not do that again.
Right.
But she didn't beat me. And I was like,
because she respected you for being accountable.
Yeah.
right.
Like,
So,
I think that is a huge thing, even for adults. Like, having a kid today, I had a class today that a lot of them didn't turn their homework. Like, only 4 people did their homework.
Yeah.
So, you know me, I'm handing out the zeros left and right. And a lot of them were making up excuses. And I had one kid that was like, Ms. Joanna, I really could have did it. Like, I'm making this excuse, but I could have did it before school. I could have did it during lunch. I could have came and asked you for a laptop. There's ways I could do it. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. And I was like, for that, I'm gonna give you an extension, because at least you said,
right.
I didn't get home to 8:00 at night, but I was on the game for at least 15 minutes. So, and I think that like people show you more grace when they have a respect for you when you open your mouth and you're like, no, because showing accountability says I want to be better.
Yeah,
I think the biggest part that I took about my accountability, I took it over this summer. So this summer I worked with the Greensboro Grasshoppers minor league baseball team, and I might have really thought I knew what I was doing on the computer, but I really didn't, and I didn't really know how to work Excel. And at first I thought I was gonna just be able to slide high. Boy, stop! I had to start putting in accounts. Got to start creating formulas and stuff. Corporate formula, them corporate Excel spreadsheets. And I immediately said, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do this, because if I keep thinking I'm gonna do it myself, I'm gonna be here for forever and I ain't gonna never get it done. So essentially, I eventually asked my supervisor, I said, can you please come over here and help me? I really don't know what I'm doing. And then he was like this, thank you for just asking and not messing it up and then giving it to me, and we couldn't read anything, because essentially you playing with money at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you playing with somebody else's, a corporation's money or LLC's money, a business money,
that's different.
Oh, that's different.
It's different.
You'll never be able to come back from there.
Yeah.
All right. So our fourth question: what resources or tools did you find the most helpful during your years at college?
One, like I said, connecting with your teacher. That is your biggest tool, being in their class at the end of the day, because that's literally how I passed chemistry. Like having that connection with my teacher, showing like I'm trying, like I need help with this and that.
Right.
And we took our final exam, and I needed one more point to be at a 70. I was at a 69, but I needed 70 to pass.
Right.
And because he saw me trying that semester and talking to him, he literally just gave me that point and let me pass.
Oh wow!
The biggest tool.
Like
that's all.
I can say that
just connecting.
Even recommendation letters.
How you doing? How's your day?
Oh, a handshake and how you're doing will change your life.
I mean, even as a master's student, like I'm 34. I recently got my master's degree. And my school was in another state. But even that, reaching out to the professor, even when I really didn't need the help, but just for the sake of making the connection, I did it. Because when I did have a situation where my kid, because as an adult student who has a family, you got the kids getting sick, the whole house has COVID. I mean, like anything can happen. I gave birth on the day that a paper was due. And this was a really hard teacher too. And she did not take late work. She really didn't care what the reason was for. But because I had previously reached out to her, talked to her about what resources would be most helpful in our class, just to make the connection, she was like, oh, get it to me when you can. I'll give you an incomplete, and then you can just go back, finish it when you get ready. Like, nicest thing. And I'm like, literally this. And I had another, situation where I needed to have an extension because life be lifing.
Right. And
I'm like, that connection, you literally cannot. There's nothing else in the world that will be a connection with the person. But like you said, so many kids, they're so into technology and all that stuff. They're missing the importance and the weight of human connection, like actual human connection. Right. And I think that is something that you just really
we
can't
said something
that.
about that on last week's podcast. We said your network is your network.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not about what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know.
Because if you could know everything in the world, but if you don't know nobody, it ain't gonna matter.
It doesn't matter. People tell me all the time, you know so many people. I know people who do everything.
Right.
But it's because I understand, like, even if we aren't best friends, like, now I know you. Like, I knew them before, but now I know you, right? And, like, now I know if I need somebody who needs some sports medicine, now I know, oh, Coach Chateau. Like,
Right.
and now if he needs somebody for a tutor, he's like,
Oh yeah, I
she
know.
taught everything.
Yeah,
But,
right.
like, that is so important. And I think people now, our generation misses that. Y'all's generation, or the generation that's kind of coming after y'all, misses that.
I would even say my generation is missing that. Like a lot of us just don't talk to people, and if we do talk to
COVID.
people,
it's
COVID,
destroyed
I would
so
100%
much.
kill a lot of it because we just don't talk to
COVID
people.
kills
social
social
interactions.
emotions.
Yeah, we just
social interactions.
it's either we
A
don't
whole
talk to
year
people.
without really talking to folks.
Like I would say
It
a
is
lot of
weird.
my generation will be in the same rooms with each other, and we'll just sit there and look at each other and not say nothing. And you'll look at each other the whole time, and you won't say a single word to
It's
the other
really
person.
weird.
And I'm like, you looked at this person all
That's
class,
bigger than that too.
and you didn't even know them. You've never spoken to them. It was like,
Ever.
I don't know.
I don't know about y'all, but like once you start going out, you start doing more sociable things like a concert. It's like that too. Like if a set's not coming on for like a whole 30 minutes, people will sit on their phone before they just talk to the person that's right next to you.
My generation's like that too, though. I will say, I think because
it's adapting now.
Yeah,
everyone's adapting too.
Everybody's adapting because now nobody really talks, and then COVID didn't make it any better because, like, even teaching during COVID when kids had on masks, it was like they treated it like a muzzle and they didn't talk. So I'm like asking questions and they're just like,
probably smelling their breath.
Oh no, COVID! I'm not gonna lie, COVID was probably bad for me because a lot of teachers hate me and they still bring this up to me when I walk around the school. I had a picture of myself, took a picture of myself before class. So I would have a picture of myself sitting there, like in camera, and I would tape it on top of the camera. So it looks like I'm sitting there. I'm asleep.
But to me,
I was knocked out. And my mom walked in. My mom walked in one day. Picture was up. I was knocked out. She was like, Jeremiah, why are you not up? You're supposed to be in class. I was like, I'm in class.
They don't know.
They don't know I'm in class, but I'm in class.
You're hilarious.
I actually remember that.
My teachers got
remember that
because one of my teachers remembered it. They was like, they called me out. They was like, Jeremiah, I was not.
That was hilarious.
And it was like, and then they ended the class. Everybody left, and it was just me and her.
You just was sitting there.
That's
I was
how I
just sitting there, and I was knocked out. And she was like, Jeremiah, I know you're not there. I was like, oh shoot, I'm gone.
That might have been me for real.
So then after that, I had to stay up the whole time. I had to sit in class actually. But before, I literally would have pictures taped to my phone, taped to the camera, and I was like, I'm asleep. I'm in class.
Crazy. I loved COVID though. It's like crazy. I see how much destruction it caused and did, but for me, I loved it. Like
you thrived.
Yeah, like I was.
Your grades were like.
Yeah, like it was the best for me. Like
You
I just
thrived.
felt like I was able to. It was nice being able to take my self-care days that I wasn't able to get, having to go to class and be there to the morning time to like 7.
Yeah.
Like it just, I was able to reset. I didn't have like friend distractions. Like I was just focused on what I was focused on, and that really helped me.
It was life changing for a lot of kids.
I think AI came out like the second year of COVID.
It just came out. I didn't even know.
I thought a lot of it came out during COVID because I'm not going. I think I was using some kind of AI form in COVID, and I was using
some kids were. I remember that.
We've had AI for a while. I know that, right?
Yeah,
because it was Google and all that.
You know, Siri's AI, right?
Yeah. But it's not. I think a lot of people just think ChatGPT is like the best form because it just do all your homework.
There's so many,
and then copy and paste it. But I'm like, there's so much more in ChatGPT.
Yeah, it just made me a whole business like plan thing. Like it actually built my shop for me.
Yeah,
and everything. Like
a lot of you. I think. Okay, I'm gonna expose a secret here for Youthful Conversations. A lot of my questions and a lot of my topics come from ChatGPT.
Perfection.
So if it's not from ChatGPT, it's from y'all. So if it's not from here, I'm getting it from people who are watching the show and like, can you talk about this on your show? But if I don't know what to do and I'm like, I got to get a show for next week. I got to get questions for next week. ChatGPT, please.
And it works.
And it works. And it'll have in-depth conversation questions ready.
And people would have never thought of. It's
nobody's like,
I would have never thought of that. That's good.
And people are like, how do you run your show so well? I'm like, it takes a lot of work. knowing that
You done gave him your secret.
I gave him my secret,
Sauce.
but I know
Dang.
that it's gonna get to a point to where a lot of people in the world are using it. So
Mhm.
I'm
I
not
love that.
I'm not ashamed of it. I'm like, I use it. It is what it is.
I
But
love it.
if you need help, it's there. But our last question for the episode is
Go
ahead.
I wanted to. Oh,
You got something?
yeah, I did. I had so many things.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to caveat what she said about the professor, find a role model on campus. That will help.
Mhm.
I ain't even gonna lie. Whether it's an advisor, somebody that's
Yeah.
Mentor.
a mentor for real. Find
Yeah.
somebody
Mentors are
that is
awesome.
in your profession and find it. I got mine, and he sends me emails about internships, jobs,
Yeah,
all
that's so
that.
good.
Mentors save your life. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
they will.
They
And
save your
what
life.
else was I gonna say? Oh, this for all my HBC people. This for all my HBC people. I'm speak for y'all. Find a friend, somebody that works in financial aid, the treasurer's office, the registrar, and find somebody that work in the cab because you're gonna always be wanting to eat.
I learned. I did hear about the one in the cab. That's universal.
Yeah.
If you have a friend in CAF, you'll get in for free. They was like,
Mhm.
I know the manager at CAF, and he lets me come in,
Yeah.
and people just go in for free. Like I know the dude over A&T's catering, I think. Yeah, A&T catering. He's like, if you ever hungry, just come down and we'll get you food.
Love
So
that.
definitely always have connections with like different people
Man,
at the
listen.
at the important POIs on campus, like library. You need free books. Library.
That's a good
You
one, too.
need somebody in financial aid. You need money for school. Have a friend like, I'm struggling. I ain't got no money. Please.
It would just
Oh,
be
yeah.
a caveat off that network for real. Too.
Yeah.
Just network.
100%. Yeah, it's like
Network. I have networked my way into more rooms than my degrees have gotten me into.
Mhm.
Like, way more.
Yeah.
And it's all about who you know. And that means, and I'm pretty, outside of like, in the classroom or whatever, I'm pretty reserved. But I had to, in college, learn. You got to open your mouth. You got to speak. Even if it's like you're having a panic attack after the fact. You got to learn how to be like, hey, how are you? I'm Shanika. What's your major? Like, what do you do? Like, that sort of thing. Literally, I think has changed my life even now. Like, I just try to network as far and as wide as I can.
I see those videos on Instagram all the time. It was like just people randomly walking up people and talking to them. At first, when I first started, I was like, okay, that's weird. Like if I'm on college campus and I'm walking around, I wouldn't want somebody to be like, hey, what's your name? And then having a whole camera video interviewing me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's kind of weird. But as I saw, I was like, okay, that's like a different way of networking.
Yeah.
And that's how they're building networking. And I'm like, oh, you got 10,000 followers just from doing this. That's interesting.
Now, my favorite one is the dude on he's on TikTok, YouTube, like pretty much all the platforms, and he goes and knocks on people's door. It's dangerous, but he goes to like rich neighborhoods and he's like, what do you do for a living?
Okay.
And it starts a whole another conversation and like,
oh yeah, I think
that was really
so surprised at like how many people you can meet just like
by saying hi.
Saying hi. It's a lost art form.
We had somebody on the show. She was like, every time I'm walking down the street, I say hi. Her name is IVG, and she's the most smiley. She always has her teeth out. She's always happy. And whenever you see her on the street, he's like, hey, how are you doing today? I hope you having a good day. And she has made such a network where it's she's so connected
anywhere she wants
with so many different people because she just said hi. Mm-hmm. And she wishes you to have
people will remember her because how many people tell you hi on the street?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that's the girl that told me hi. Like, and people will vouch, like random people will vouch for you just because they're like, oh yeah, she's nice. They don't have to know you at all. You could be evil for all they know.
Right.
But because you like said hi,
right.
You have people that'll vouch for you now.
Yeah, even just a smile, because like nowadays everyone's so to themselves, and like a lot of people are really mean nowadays. Like it's crazy the amount of like nasty looks you get just for like walking down the street. Like are we not supposed to be outside?
Yeah.
Like
or they have their headphones in and they're looking at you like mean mugging you as you're walking past. I'm like, I don't even know you.
You're right.
Why are you mean mugging me?
I don't be looking at nobody. I'm a firm believer. When I have my music in, I'm in my own little world.
Oh no, some people have their music in and just mean
my own little world.
I'm aware now.
I don't get. When I listen to music, like you said, I be in my own world, so I don't be paying attention to nobody or anybody around me. Yeah. But the people who have their AirPods in or earbuds on or headphones on, and you're walking around campus just mean mugging people. I'm like, you're just mean.
Yeah, just angry. You just angry.
Just angry.
Like,
But
it's
what?
literally 8 a.m.
Yeah.
What are we mad
Yeah,
about?
what you-
Now
Yeah.
it's different. It's a difference between your resting face and like you literally just looking mean. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I can
like
see
you
that. I
gotta
can
you
see
having a
that.
bad day or something.
There's definitely a
I feel
difference.
like everybody. I feel like your energy will tell. Like you
Yeah.
can tell off somebody's energy.
Yeah, or if they're
bad
just
day.
like
Mm-hmm.
very rude.
Okay, so are you guys ready for the last question for the episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had an amazing conversation, and I've really enjoyed all the advice that we're
So
given to
good.
all high school students. I won't even say this is just for seniors. I'll say this is for all high school students. Like, there's some advice that some freshmen can use, some middle schoolers could use. Like, this is just
Some
advice
adults
in
can
general.
use.
Adults could use.
Heavy on the adults.
But for our
Heavy on
last
the
question, what advice would you give high school seniors about maintaining their mental health and well-being as they go into college?
Self-care days. I don't care if you just lay in the bed all day and watch TV. Like whatever you do to decompress from your week, people, everything, do it. Like,
Yeah.
and even if that's spending time with your family, friends, or whatever, but just something to take your mind off, school and academics.
I got
Because
mad at
you
my
will
mom
get
about
burnt
that.
out.
I got so mad at my mom about that. Like, I can't explain how mad I got about that. Like, last year, my brother got a mental health day for school. And I was like, when I was in school, I never could even part my lips to be mental health day. She was like, you ain't got no mental health. You're going to school.
Yeah.
Like, that was my response. My brother went downstairs. Nothing was wrong with this man. I'm telling you, nothing was wrong with this man. He was okay the whole day. He was like, I have a mental health day. I get to stay home
my
because
test.
I got to stay home because I didn't have school that day for college. He got to stay home because he was having a mental health day. And
It's so needed.
he sat at the house, played the game all day. I'm like,
That's his mental health.
he was not having no problem. But then I thought about it. I was like, sometimes I need a mental health day, but I just didn't get that luxury when I was younger. But now I get that luxury. So I understand now that he did probably need it. He probably was going through something.
I had a
I
hard
just
test
couldn't
that
see
day.
it.
Like even
Oh,
little,
probably.
even little kids, like people think that because they're children that like not necessarily to say that they don't matter, but like if you think about it, little kids are learning to connect and be with people too. Like
Right.
Yeah.
everyone
it's so
deserves that
important.
day to like whatever, even if it's spending time with your mom or spending time with your dad,
They
like
need it.
it's needed.
Yeah. When I take my mental health day for work, I will pick my kid up like early so that we can hang out because you need time too. Like just because you're 9 doesn't mean you don't need a moment.
But
Like
that's what the world is lacking: connection, even with your own parents. Like it's so many people that their parents don't even ask them no more like how's your day because they're so caught up in their own stuff. Like
Right.
yeah.
And that can be a part of your mental health day, taking time to like talk to your mom, talk to your dad, like
Yeah.
talk to your
Read.
friends.
We have a
Read a
joke.
book.
We have a joke
Read
with
the
our
Bible.
mom. We have all me and my two siblings have a joke with our mom. So before she would pick us up from school, and we would get all the way home just talk about our problems, and then she'll get in the driver's. She'll be like, "How your day been, mommy? Ain't nobody ask you how your day been."
Yeah.
So now when we get in the car, we're like, "How your day been, mommy? We ain't seen you all day."
Yeah.
So we'll be like, we
love
like
that.
over exaggerate it.
Yeah.
Because it's like when we first would do it, no one would ask her how she was doing. She
Yeah.
would just get off from work and pick us up, and we'll talk about our problems to her all the way home. And then when she gets to the driveway, she's like, "Well, since nobody asked, how was your day?"
Right.
So it was kind of funny, and I like it. I like it. No, I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. But what is some advice you guys would give to high school seniors going into?
I'd say have a hobby that you like to do. My thing is read. I like to read, so
Okay.
I found myself like I'll read whatever little prompt that I see, or I have a book that I have, and I'll say, hey, let me just take a second, let me read, do whatever you need to do. I'm gonna just say this for the males, like, no judgment on me, hopefully. Go get your feet did, bro. Just have a self-care.
Thank you.
I love a feet day. Oh my
Hey,
bro.
I love this.
Oh my god, I love a
Thank you.
feet.
That's the most.
Thank you.
I've never-
so masculine.
I have never went to a foot day.
Shit.
I went to my first one. My car had blew up. Like it was very traumatic that day.
Wait,
My mom was like, I'm gonna take you to go get a pedicure. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's a pedicure.
We went all the way down there. I was giggling the whole time. Me and the little Me and the little lady was laughing at each other the whole time because she'll put hot wax on. Oh, that tickles a little bit. That tickle. And then she started.
so much.
Then she started grinding my toe. Oh, that tickle a little bit. I can't do it. Then she started putting her finger to me. I'm like, oh, don't do that. I was sitting there laughing the whole time.
Every
me and the
man
little
laughs,
lady-
man. I don't care.
Me and the lady was just sitting there laughing and bonding over laughter of her doing my feet. And I was like, this is amazing.
This is amazing.
And I see why you go so often. And she
yeah.
goes often.
It's a
Women will
thing.
women will spend a bag on a pedicure,
Yeah.
like legit.
Oh my! It was all. I would do it again every day of the week if I could. Like it was.
My
awesome.
girlfriend took me, and that was the best thing she did.
Oh,
She
yeah.
took me on a
Bro.
pedicure date. We had a mental
Changed your
health
life.
day. Oh man, I never stopped going.
I
I
was
never
like,
stopped
I
going.
literally included it into like me and my boyfriend's like monthly budget.
Yeah.
Like every 2 weeks, we're at the nail shop. Like
Together.
Like,
It's a group
yeah.
now.
Amazing.
We have an
definitely
appointment.
would do it.
And it's
Yeah.
good.
I feel like you have to do that too.
Yeah.
Like spend time with your significant other. Like go do a hobby. My hobby is I like to thrift. I'll go out and I'll just go
My
thrift
brother
shopping
loves
or something.
thrifting.
Just do something that
loves it.
like,
Like,
it's
that's his thing.
that's the way.
He wants to open his own thrift shop. Actually,
Thrift shop's
I
awesome.
support
I love it.
that. I support
Yeah.
that 110%.
I would say my advice: number one, rest. Like rest. Like you cannot function at your maximum capacity if you are not well rested. And that's something that I think I've had to relearn over and over and over again
Yes.
in multiple seasons of my life, becoming a mom again, getting married. Like I had to learn like rest is important to operate as your best self. You have to be well rested. And I think just kind of going in line with what y'all are talking about, like knowing what fills you up. Because I think a lot of times, a lot of kids don't know what they like for real.
Mhm.
You ask them like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure y'all can attest to this because I make kids do one pagers of like what they want to do when they grow up, college, all the things. So I ask kids because a lot of kids don't know what they want to be when they grow up. That's okay. You know, you might not know. So I ask, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I don't know yet. And I'm like, "What are your hobbies? What do you like?"
Mm.
I don't know.
I can say I followed my one pager pretty close to a T. Like I've changed it up a little bit,
I'm glad you
but
asked
my
that.
one pager I've followed it like almost through and through. But
I
it's
love
definitely
that.
changed.
Because I love that fact. Like I love to get kids to even just consider it. Because a lot of kids I found haven't even considered their future at all.
Yeah.
So even just knowing, like for me, I made myself a one pager actually because I was realizing how burnt out I was getting just working, momming, and like church and like all the things. And I'm like, I gotta reset. And I had to stop and think because even becoming a mom, sometimes you get so lost in motherhood or being a wife or working in church or doing all these things that you lose yourself. It's so easy to lose yourself. So I had to make myself on my Notion like a one page. I made it in Canva and I put what fills me up. So that in the moments that I know I need to refuel, I love pedicures, I love Netflix days, I love books, I love listening to live music. I have all these things that I've just put on a one pager so that like in the event that I can feel myself getting burnt out, I know it's time for me to take a day off.
Right.
I know it's time for me to go to Coach and buy me a bag. I know it's time for me to get my pedicure. Like I know those things. And I think that kids need to come in knowing like themselves and knowing what they're into and their hobbies.
Or
and
just travel out into your little college area in your campus. Wherever
Yeah.
you at, just go out and try to find things. I think you said
pique
it
your
was like
interest.
Yeah.
you just went out. Y'all went out every day to go eat or somewhere.
Mhm.
That's something to do though. For real, just do something.
That's how I learned I was a foodie.
Mhm.
I didn't know I was a foodie
Everyone's a
until
foodie.
I'm like,
Oh no, I
everyone's a foodie.
stand by it. Every single person's a foodie. They just haven't had the right
They
food.
haven't-
you just haven't had the right food.
When you have the right food, you will be a
I'm
foodie.
passionate about it.
Like last school year at G Tech, me and my friend Ty, we had went to this burger bar because both of us love cheeseburgers, and we're like, we gotta find something. There's this, it's called Bad Daddy Burgers Bar
Mm.
near Target. I don't know the street.
It's on
So-
window.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a foodie.
I never heard that
I know
from
that.
No,
I
I'm just so bad with streets. My mom gets mad at me all the time. But Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, it has
Yeah.
it's a burger, has fried bacon on it, has this sauce on it, comes with
That's my husband's favorite one.
lettuce,
I know-
tomato.
I know what you're talking about.
And I'm like,
I
oh
know
my,
burger.
it's so good.
That's tough.
And I love it. And my friends was like, you go
Now
get
you gotta go to Magnolia Blue and get their burger.
Ooh,
top
okay,
tier.
I'm gonna have
And
to
High
try that.
Point-
I think
You know
my-
when you know you're a foodie for real?
okay, how am I know?
You don't know when you really know? You go somewhere, they know the order. They know your order.
My Chipotle-
regular.
Me at Southern Roots.
No, every
me at
Chipotle
me
near
at
my
Reggae
house
Cafe.
knows it.
Reggae Cafe. This for y'all. Love y'all. Reggae Cafe.
Chipotle,
I love
the
man,
Chipotle near G Tech knows my order.
what?
The Chipotle near my house knows my order, and I get the same thing every time. I get a chicken bowl, extra rice, extra veggies, extra cheese, queso, and chicken. I get the same bowl. And everybody loves it. And like, it's so simple and it's $9. It's filling the
My
baggy,
bowl is
heavy.
$20.
Oh,
Mine
What
too.
you be getting? You be getting the.
I be getting every
You
protein,
be
extra
getting. You be
cheese.
getting double, don't you?
No,
You be
I
like,
only
Gotta
get
get
Lord.
the guac.
I only get double chicken, but I have to get the
See, the
guac. I
double
need the
chicken.
corn. I need
Nah.
the like.
Oh
I
yeah, I
need
need the
everything.
corn salsa. I need the guac. Yeah.
The double chicken. is
Y'all
so
stuff-
good.
Yeah, we
touching
need a separate
tinfoil,
foodie
huh?
episode. We gotta
Yes,
come
we gotta do a food
best
episode.
in
Come
food
back
in the tribe.
and talk
I have
about
more things
food.
to say.
When the food trucks.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing to say.
My vision boards, because I know a lot of people nowadays don't like to write. So even if you're visual, having those pictures and
One
like,
pagers. There's simply one pagers on boards.
yes, like just
Essentially.
even your future goals. Like, I love cutting magazines up and just putting together my whole board. Of,
Okay,
like,
I
my
will say
future.
this one thing though. With vision boards, you have to be realistic.
Yes.
I hate vision boards that are
Yeah,
unrealistic
unrealistic. Yeah.
because it's like they'll be like, "I'm gonna make a vision board for my next year goals." I'm like, "Okay, what's on your vision board? Mansion, Lamborghini, $1 million." I'm like,
It's like
this is unrealistic.
You ain't got $20.
I love your dream. This is something that you could
Right.
maybe achieve 10 years down the line.
See, but
But
let me
next
stop you. I
year
gotta stop you
is
right there.
insane.
Because even though it's not something they probably won't accomplish, having that mindset of that they can,
Okay.
like
I see
reaching
it.
for the stars, like pushing themselves, whatever motivates them to
Right.
get up and go hard, is still needed,
I get
even
it.
if it's
I get
not
it.
attainable in that moment.
I get it. Okay, I can see it now, but before
Yeah.
people would just do it, I'm like, that's not realistic.
I think it's important to do, like, for instance, on my Pinterest board, I got house projects, right? I own a home. So I have house projects that I want to work on in the next year.
Right.
But then I got like that when I make it house
Yeah.
projects.
Right.
I think you got to be realistic to know. I think you have to know, like, okay, this is something I want to attain at some point in my life. And then, but then the short term realistic goals, where can I get, on my journey in a year though?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what's attainable? I think knowing the difference, because I think you can be a big dreamer and not put action steps to it if you don't have something that's attainable for you
Yeah.
though. Because when you realize I can't make $1 million in 3 months,
You get sad.
you'll get sad
Right.
and you'll be like, man, I'm just gonna give up right here. But I think having
Short
that,
term.
yeah, but I can get $100 in 3
Mhm.
months.
Yeah.
So
It's that
let-
dopamine in your
Yeah,
brain, like,
yeah.
oh, I gotta achieve this.
Yeah.
yeah,
$100.
it
Short
does something
term,
for
Yeah.
you.
short term and long term goals that you have.
Are important.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you because I feel like we done went over time. We have been over here for about an hour and 30 minutes now. We usually try to go for an hour, but it was an amazing discussion, and I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you all for
Thank you.
tuning in to this episode of Youthful Conversations
Yeah.
to give you
So
some
good.
actionable steps for high school seniors or high school students going into college, transitioning into adulthood. I would say some of the most important points that stick out to me. If you guys have any, you can definitely feel free to chime in. I would say watch your circle,
Mhm.
have a goal, have a plan, have a planner, something to make sure you're on track to get to your goal. Thirdly, stay as focused as possible.
Mm.
It's hard, I understand, but when you're on college and you have freedom, try to make sure you remember the goal. You stay as closely to that line as possible because sometimes you're gonna stray off of it.
And it's okay.
And then the next step, I would say, have actionable steps to stay on that line because it's
Yeah.
very easy to derail off of that line if you are like, I want to make $1 million in a year, and you ain't even made $1,000, and you're like, well, I can't make $1 million, and then you just completely quit. So definitely have actionable steps to go along with your line. And then make sure you stay accountable. Being
Connections
accountable.
with your professors.
Yes, being
Network,
connected with your
network,
professor.
network,
And then networking is always a great thing to do.
Oh yeah.
But again, I want to thank you guys for being on the 11th episode of Youthful Conversations. Thank you all for tuning in to the 11th episode of Youthful Conversations. And we're going to see you all next week.
Sure that no one